kit to start building. What do you have any specialty, or are you kind of all over the place? Like, what do you focus on 16 times? I don't think we've ever talked about that. Other than Xeonics, classic Xeonics. Grunts. On the right, 12 on the left. This time. Good, there are different fits. Just a little bit. Help me out. OYW. Why did I just forget what that stood for? One-year war. Sheesh. Oh boy. Gonna build a second diorama as well, but more Zeta. Gotcha. Like, have I gone completely senile? Is this it? Am I done? Is this the beginning of the end for me? Scary.
That's unfortunate.
Hmm? Old man syndrome. I saw that one of these was missing a line. Yeah, it's not quite in there. Attributed to the hour I'm awake. Nah. Dark for gray. Yeah, that's good. The lack of jack links. Some shrimp gumbo sister-in-law made last night. That works. Way too long. Under. I touch that up ever so slightly, ever so slightly. Yeah, it might be actually okay. Turn this upside down. This is gonna clip in place, right? Give me a nice. I felt it on one side, and the other. There it is. There it goes. Good, good. Indeed. Crawfish bowl. When was the last time I had crawfish? very few times in my life, honestly. I can't remember the last. Maybe in college? Hanging out with a friend's family or something? Hey, there we go. There we go. Neck sleeve on here. It's getting there. It's coming together now.
Hello there.
Who that is? William the Tiger Knight. Hello. How's it going? Is this a better time for you? The timing has not worked out frequently with my schedule. Sorry, it's not a Lego day for me. This is just like tail end bonus stream from Gundam Monday. Because Gundam Monday was birthday and giveaway day, so I didn't get a lot built. Making up for that a little bit. Good little sleeve. This should also be pushed in a little bit farther. There we go. That's more like it. The front's just going to be two pieces. Pair of parts from the C tree. Running low on parts. This is good. Just the time you're awake today. Okay, don't actually have a sleep time yet. Ah, all right. I got the one. Oh, it's the combination of the two. I see. Maybe I can zoom this just a little more. Yeah. Just see things a little bit better, hopefully. The centering, not quite there, but not too bad. Visible, so I can straight cut it. And I think the same goes for the side. This, on the other hand, needs some care. Typically awake all night and sleep all day. Got absorbed in Forza. Stayed up all day with no sleep. Oh, wow. Then crashed at 10 p.m. Yikes. Well, I hope you had some fun, though. It was good fun. Terrible gate right here. Yuck. It's huge. Why? Sir? Okay. Oh, like Forza, the proper mainline game. I haven't even thought about that in a long time. I didn't even realize they're still doing it, honestly. Horizon's so successful. I've got 205 cars unlocked. Race some cars, spent way too long buying and painting. Yeah, you gotta do that. It's a core part of the experience of being invested. Think about how much you use my old videos when buying a secondhand Lego. I think the comments will ever come back. I don't. I think legislation is only moving in the direction of being even more restrictive, and regarding content that can be enjoyed by people under the age of 18. A lot of the stuff for kids 13 is going to change to 16. Protections, rather, for kids under 13 is going to change to 16, I think, in the next 5 years or so. So I don't expect the comment situation to be rectified. I only expect it to get worse. That's interesting. I've got a line over here, but I don't have a line on the other side. Oh, I see why. It's not really a line. It doesn't settle in there nicely. There is a little bit. Natsuki, hello. How's it going? Welcome. Thank you for popping in. Game Pass, you have access to 4 and 5. Can't play 5. 4 seems to eat up all your CPU, but does run. Weird. Into Mars mission. Added in a preface? Yeah, no. Doesn't work. Does not work. Does not count. Also, you can't go back and add to old videos. There's nothing you can do about it anymore. Expand Kappa. They're going to expand Kappa-like stuff to 16. It is, I believe it already happened in Europe. And there are countless bills on the books happen in recent years to expand Kappa-like protections up to the age of 16. And more. What? Gotta be 13 right now, yep. I do not. I do not know if that's a person or a thing. Just, nope, I do not. Chocolate or chocolatines? Not a big chocolate eater myself. Hey, Led. Saying what to say here. Welcome back. Protections makes you think they changed the toss. They'll only do that if they absolutely need to. I doubt it. It's just there are a lot more things they have to do to comply. If they find that it's just not worth their time, then they will concede and just say, okay, you're not allowed if you're below this age. But the 13 to 16 age range is just too profitable to companies, too valuable to them. I think that they will do what they need to do to accommodate the law and work with it and around it. Adoption, adaptation, assimilation graph, public policy. Were any kids fun? No, it wasn't that. COPPA is not bad. COPPA is good. COPPA is about protecting kids from online predation by big corporations and individuals both. I support COPPA. COPPA has been doing its job just fine since it was passed in 2000. I think 2000, the year 2000. What happened in 2020 was Google had flagrantly violated the law for an extended period of time. And they got caught. And they were able to negotiate a settlement with the government, state of New York, and feds as well, that allowed them to pass most of the pain and most of the damages on to creators like myself of family-friendly, yet not necessarily made for kids content. They paid a slap on the wrist fine, but most of the pain went to folks like myself. That's not being a pain, Led. Just give me just a second. I'll show you, give you a little update on where I'm at. Perfectly reasonable. As long as it's not asked by a lot of people repeatedly, which it isn't, so it's all good. Two Nibbles, hello, how are you doing? God, in 4K. And welcome to the stream. Thank you for popping in. How's it going? Baron Von Baron. Thank you for continuing your exclamation Prime subscription for 9 months in a row now. Very much appreciate you continuing that here. I'm glad that you use it somewhere, but it's especially kind of you to use it here. Thank you. Hope all is well. So this is where I'm at. Very new to Gunpla. Built your first one on the 15th. Welcome. First of all, let us know what did you build? Techniques I can share. I'm building a somewhat advanced kit right now. It's not really a good time for me to show stuff. I personally, though, honestly, I'm an amateur. I've built a bunch of kits, but not that many. Sorry, it was my birthday, so there's a bunch of balloons I got to navigate around. I've built about 35, 36, 37, something like that. Kits like these, but I'm still just a learner. I'm still learning, but I will definitely be happy to share techniques along the way, and I do pretty regularly. I like sharing. I like learning stuff and then sharing it back. For me, every Sunday and Monday is Gundam building day, and then I mostly do Lego. So all these parts containers down here are full of Lego. You built an HG charred asparagus Sazabi, and now you have a backlog of 40 or so kits. Well, you're doing it right. You're doing it correctly. That is the way. That is the way. Yeah. You see, you buy all, and then maybe you start building at some point. So, congrats and welcome. If Google said we don't have any people under 13 on our platform, creators would not be punished, but Google had to brag about it. Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. They're like the colors used, is that a dark blue or more of a muted blue? Oh, in this? Are you talking about? So it's a combination. This is slightly darker than the usual, only slightly. And then we got a very pale blue here as well. And then with the legs, there are 3 different colors of white. It's a whitish white, a brownish white, and a light gray. Aaron, good morning to you. How's it going? Ever been to Legoland? I have not been to any Legoland. Anywhere. Pick a Brick has every brick in the current line. Most of it by weight. They don't have every brick. They don't have every brick. That would require a wall that is unbelievably large. But they do have a lot. Yeah, the Pick a Brick walls in official Lego stores are impressive. Also, hi, how are you doing? Ordered glass file, I think it might be better than sand sticks. Yes. Running through them every couple of days. Yes. 2 nibbles. Hit exclamation Gundam stuff. I went through trying many different files and ended up with a particular set. Cost like $8 and you get 4 of them. So as they get loaded up with material, you don't have to stop and clean them. Wait, it's these. $8 for 4, and they work fantastically well. Also comes with a rasp for heavy work. You shouldn't need heavy work. I do use sanding sticks as well, but I only use sanding sticks, just generic sanding sticks for finishing work when I'm not going to top coat and I just want to match the look of standard plastic. 20-piece Hanzo. Yeah. That's what you. Yeah. You got to use the. You got to use the higher. So I typically use 3,000 to 5,000 grit. That's the sweet range for those. But yeah, they get used up relatively quickly. So you switch to this, and then you do all of your heavy work with these, and then eventually, later on, as you get more experienced, you'll get better cutters. And then you'll get better at using those cutters with the 2. Okay, I'll give you one technique right now that is important if you're not familiar with it. Apologies if you are familiar with this. I don't mean to talk down to you at all. I just want to share one thing that is of a lot of value, I think. People talk about the 2-cut technique. And I thought I understood what that was. I did not understand what that was because the name 2-cut is wrong. Until you get really good at it. For most people, it's not 2 cuts. Or at least the ideal would not be 2 cuts. So, here's a piece that I want to cut out. I'm going to go super wide. Like, I'm not even going to care about getting roughly close to it. I'm going to go super wide on each of those gates. Just, who cares? And one of them just broke off because it's so thin, so I don't even have to worry about that. But over here, I got this chunky one. Okay, let's focus on that. This big old chunky thing. Look at that. Nasty. Nobody wants to see that. Terrible. Now, this is an RG kit, so their gates are a little bit smaller and finer, but I'm going to come way back here and still leave some behind. I'm then going to probably do just a little bit more, which leaves just a small sliver. Now that is what you cut carefully. That little bit. There's a specific reason for this. I didn't hear anybody explain this. Different people kind of explained it in ways that didn't really make sense to me. What it is, check this out. This is plastic. It's made of molecules that are lines. They're like strings. It's a bunch of strings inside of there that are bound to each other. The longer the piece that's sticking out is, when you go to cut it, the center is going to be pulling away from the material that's already there. All those strings that are connected to each other are going to be tearing each other apart. as the blade comes by and tries to snip it off and pull it up. It all tears, and that's what leaves the white spot behind. The that. It's either because a piece is being broken off instead of cut, or even if I go more slowly with this, look at that, all that's white. It's because it's like spaghetti on the inside. And it's just pulling it away from the surface. But the shorter the distance that you cut, so the less you cut at one time, you're pulling shorter bits of spaghetti. They don't go as far down into the plastic, which is why with the better cutters, you're getting not only a sharper cut, but you also need to cut less at one time. Cut that big, leave the big piece behind, and then just do slices, little slices, and then make your very final cut really, really, really thin. And then you don't have a bunch of sanding that you need to do at the end. You'll have a surface that just doesn't have the stress marks in there. And you can even use your thumbnail to just burnish it down. You're literally burnishing it down by pushing the polymers together. When it shows up white, it's just because there's a bunch of spaghetti that is opened up. When spaghetti is open, it turns into a refractive surface. It takes light and turns it in every kind of direction because light hits the different spaghetti strands and bounces off in different directions, and it turns to white. Push all that together, and then there's no white anymore. Look at that. Now that obviously is not
so powerful and so wide.
Is not perfectly trimmed right now, but no stress mark. No wonder you can't get rid of your marks. Everybody talks about the two cut technique, right? If I wanted to take this piece off down here, okay, you cut it once, right? And then you cut it once again, right? Once far away from the piece, and then once up close. Well, that's not helping. Also, you see that center right there? That's where it completely pulled apart. That's where the spaghetti was stretched so hard that it eventually broke, even though I'm using a good cutter. So you need to take the little slices, make your last cut thin. This one I went a little bit too hard at the end, but there's so little stretched spaghetti. Again, fingernail can burnish down a lot of that. You can see how it's getting there. You see how the white is going away? I'm just pushing the pieces back, the strands of spaghetti back together. There we go. No stress mark. And that's not a 5.0 God hands. It's the mid-range ones, you know. But that's the thing. I wish that was talked about more.
Gundam.
Don't worry about two cut. Yeah, cut far away from the piece. The key is that your last cuts need to be really, really thin. Hopefully that is of some value. Never knew why that was. Seems so logical now as you know. Yeah, the length of the polymer chains that you're pulling up. Canada Christopher, hello. Indulgent, welcome back. Recommended you have kids since their target is under 12. Yeah, most of them will require. You can go into the store, but you can't go into the place itself. There is a warehouse. Huh. Interesting. Sad you want to play with this mod like a toy? It is not. It is not sad at all. I've been using 1.5 to 6K. Sounds good. Sounds good. Twinception, how's it going? Stumbled upon the two-cut technique from Warhammer. Yes. Somebody needs to come up with a better name than two-cut, though. Because it only truly is a two-cut if your first cut is slow and close enough to where your second cut is already going to be thin. So like if that was my first cut, then this is a two-cut. Otherwise, it's a three-cut like it actually was, right? My first cut was way far away. And then once I had room, I was able to get in closer and closer. And then I don't even need to use the sanding sponge or anything because it's just so close. Fingernail alone does it. And this just needs a little touch up on the panel lining there since I didn't do that. Where's my little one?
Oh!
Not. Oh, that's better. That's better. I can live with that. Thank you, Indulgent. It was a lot of fun. It was a really good time, the birthday stream. Technically for me earlier today. Eliminating stress marks was never a priority when you're building Warhammer because it's just getting painted over. Yes, as long as the material was flush and smooth. Didn't matter if there was discoloration. Fair. If your cut is too far away, use a metal low grit file and sand most of that off until it gets to the 1.5. I see. Yeah, that's fair. That I used to do that as well. I used to leave some behind and then file. Then I found these and started using that. After going through the different grits, I switched to doing this and then using this to create a matte finish or a similar satin finish to the raw plastic, since these leave a mostly polished surface, which doesn't look good. But nowadays, with a good cutter, I'm rarely using the file. These are great. They're not the most expensive, but they're the same design. How difficult is it to sharpen? I sharpen mine like once a week. Not sharpen, hone. This is honing. Take the existing angle that's there. There's just a tiny bit of burr, and I can feel it as I move this across. I'm matching the angle of the flat of the back, and just slightly cutting that burr off. A burr is a layer of a layer of metal, where the molecules have bent up. They've actually curved up. So I'm going against cutting this one, honing this one, going against it, because if you go this way, it's going to take that burr and just curve it over. Metal is it's flexible. The thinner it gets, the more flexible it is. Think of aluminum foil compared to a block of aluminum. A block of aluminum is pretty hard. Aluminum foil you can just bend. The burr at the end of a truly sharp knife, or at the edge, is super flexible. So what I'm doing is, when it's like this, I'm cutting it off with this stone here, right? This is, you magnify this, and it's just all these rocks, and it's just knocking this off until you're left with just flat. Launching another Falcon Heavy, right on. Two boosters landing at the same time. Nice. Replace them when no, definitely not better to replace them when they become dull. It's better to get them sharp to begin with by sharpening them. Where are the ones that are sharp? $7. So the terminology, sharpening, is when you actually resurface. You put your own edge. You put a new edge on there. So you see, originally this was black oxide coated, and I really took a lot of material off of that. That's sharpening. You're actually changing the entire surface. Honing is taking the existing edge and just touching it up. So this has an edge right now, but I can make it just a little bit better by honing it. I'm just getting really, really close to that edge, the original angle, and just pulling the burr off of it. You want to do the same thing on the other side as well. and just be really, really light with your last ones. It's difficult to get down in there though, and you want to match the angle. That's the tough thing. I need a better tool than this, but this also has this, just a little bit rough, but in a pinch, it'll work. Just to pull a little bit of that burr off. And now I've created a burr on the other side, so my last honing will be here, and I'll do it really, really light, because you're just curving that burr back and forth, and trying to remove the end of it. So the last one is just right there. You can feel it too. You can feel, if you're careful, use something really fine like a ceramic for the end of it when you're done, when it's sharpened. Then you're just honing with something really, really fine. And you can feel it. It just feels a little bit gritty. And then it gets smoother. It feels more like you're just running over the surface because you are, and then stop. And now the burr is on the other side, because there's always going to be a burr no matter what, but it's on the other side, which is going to help it to cut. You'll feel it when you put your finger over it. It grabs your finger better when you do your last stroke from this side, because it's bending over this way. So when you move your finger over it, it's catching it. There's a little bit of a hook there, and it's catching your skin. Birthday stream was yesterday indeed, Toa Brony, and thank you. Appreciate that. It was fun. Good afternoon to you. And William, thank you for the happy birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Only when you got into Gunpla you started really caring how good your cutting technique was and the tool. Yeah. Victor, hello. It's going pretty well. Having just a little bonus stream here to get a little more actual work done before returning back on Gunpla, before returning back to the focus on Lego.
I'm back.
Either tomorrow, later today, or the day after. G9. The G tree. Welcome back. Get a couple of these. What? Oh, those are G1s. G9s. These little things. 4, 8, 9. These. Want to do models. We don't have money or space, I see. So repeat, full disclosure, I'm an amateur. I'm just sharing what I think I've learned. What I say is probably not the best. I'm just trying to find the best. This is a field sharpener. It's called a field sharpener. But specifically you want to look for ceramic sharpening stone, sharpening strip, and preferably something, it's got to be flat, it's got to have a straight end to it. But for honing these, you need to get down inside. That's the toughest part. With this one, I'm able to use
Thanks, Jay.
I'm able to use the
Appreciate that.
tip to just get down this way, just barely. It fits, gets down in there. Tough to see. It does only just fit down in there. It's tough. It's not comfortable. I need to find something better, but hopefully that'll get you going in the right direction. Actually, have not honed this one this week yet. Just gonna. I don't feel any burr. That's good. That means I've been careful. Also, I've been doing this RG, so it doesn't really have a lot of material on the gates usually. Yeah, that's fine, so I'll just hit the other. in building for 22 years. Don't tell anyone how to do their gunpla so much as you tell how to do yours. So much as you want to be told how to do yours. We're just something might have been lost there, but you're saying gunpla how you want, right? Looks so hard. Try and integrate. Oh, yeah. We're nerding out. We're nerding out. Like, I do apologize if I didn't mean to make it seem difficult. We're just getting into nitty gritty, which is just extra fun stuff like nerds do. You know. You don't need most of what I'm saying, honestly. More you tell how you did something. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. How you did something or what you use. Yes, sometimes might suggest something or give a trick. Yes. Thank you. I like that. You don't tell somebody what to do. You share what you do, what you know. Not as instruction, but as an offering of, well, here's something, take it or leave it. Grain of salt. Maybe it helps you. Maybe it makes you think about something that will help you even more. Maybe it makes you investigate and then you go learn from somebody who can do it better. Yeah, easy entry grade kits don't even need any tools. Victor, no tools required. This was built with no tools.
Another one.
I drive cars now? Right on. DZ Studios, take care. Thanks for hanging out. You'll soon be able to use and improve your design of Optimus Prime. Nice. Had zero interest, and now these streams have made you interested. I'm screeching in. Come in screeching to use Tamiya for panel lines most people will not appreciate. Thank you for not being the type of Gundam bruh that we make fun of, or at least that I make fun of. What you need to do, bruh, is you need to stop everything that you're doing, bruh. You need to do it like I do it, bruh, because it's the way.
Bruh.
God, that is just so good. Thank you for that. Pixie is an absolute gem.
This is the way.
So 16 times a second, what you're telling me is that you're not one of the commenters, the standard commenters on my Gunpla quick look videos on YouTube. We're always like, oh, you got the HG, oh, you got the MG, oh, you need to get the RG, bruh. What you need to do is, see what you should do. Wait until then you'll really. Looks nice. It's got so many strings attached. Never be comfortable recommending it. I think it's fine to recommend it to people who want to do a billion steps and have the time to do that and the interest in doing that. Most people don't, is the thing. I think advanced techniques are great. They're fantastic. But most people ain't got time for all that. If you can get 85 to 90% in 10% of the time, it's probably going to help 90% of people. Found a paint job for one of your cars with a Gundam on it. Heck yes. Heck yes. I've seen some of that. Just a few more pieces, folks. Just a few more. What was that? Put the lights back. Somebody clipped it. Plus telling a person to spend $100 on tools is totally a put off. Straight up. Bruh, you need to be using the SPN 120s, bruh, and a razor. What you need to do, oh, you're building your first ever Gundam? Right on. What you should do is get a Razor kit, a full Razor kit, and a set of SPN 120s. Like now, like stop what you're doing and go get those things. It will change your life. It'll make everything so much better for you. Shut the frick up. Read the room. Most of your cars have some anime carrier. No worries. Nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing to be ashamed of at all. Period. Start Minecraft mods. Right on. Have fun.
Bruh.
Not everyone can just dump a couple grand into a hobby right out the door. Yeah. And thank you again, Tobroni. Good to see you. F8 and 9. Never been wild with the hobbies. Pushing of those in particular. It's great, but it's delicate. Yeah, and it's not cheap. So much easier to recommend a glass file for cleaning, or at least the lower end ones that are the exact same design, and you can use them somewhat safely on clear parts, and they come sharp. Or the Tamiya ones, or some of the other cheaper ones that are, again,